All right. This is the fifth day. We are getting ready to go here. I've got maps everywhere as we plan out the route today. It is 5 minutes to 7 a.m. We are lifting off at 7 a.m. First stop will be Hermosa. Just gets us close to Highway 36, which gets us to Needles Highway. One of the main two things we want to do today. Needles Highway, twistiest, mountainous, most technical ride in South Dakota. And then we're going to do a drive-by on Mount Rushmore. Maybe not even stop in. We're just going to we got to make sure we see it. And then we're doing the Iron Mountain Road. The other second most technical. That may take us all day. I don't even know. We're gonna see where we come out. If we got time, we're gonna reassess. Maybe do Custer State Park, see some bison. Maybe go see the Crazy Horse Memorial. Maybe get something to eat because we'll be starving at that point. A little hat for Sturgis 2023. Had a great time yesterday. Yesterday was easy day. We're not even gonna talk about miles because we could be riding all day today and it'd only be like 150 miles out there. Got a good night's rest last night. I think we passed a steakhouse down the street. I think it's calling ourselves as a reward. This will be the most scenic day through the South Dakota Black Hills, Mount Rushmore that we have on this whole trip. This is it. This is the big one.
Well, this was the big one, and the big one was all it was made out to be. This is Neil and I finishing up Mount Rushmore, taking a nice selfie by the ponds there. It was absolutely incredible. Not a lot of shots of the riding. We've got some good GoPro footage we'll post on later, but it was really something else. Here was our launch in the morning as we took off. Mount Rushmore, beautiful scenery. Needles Highway with its little canyons and dark tunnels. Just spectacular. Here's a bit of us fooling around here. Look at the stone foundations around the Needles Highway. It was like that riding for about an hour and a half. There was something else. After these rides came Custer's Park with its wildlife and bison. Please don't pet the bison. Don't let them get too close to you. They seem friendly, but they're wild animals, so be careful. But here is a good-looking one just for you guys. And the guys who control them, the park rangers. You got to love the park rangers. Have to have a good steak after a good ride. That was really something else. This is in Hill, South Dakota.
Hey, I called second day, the technical day on the directions. It was extremely technical. We took off as planned at 7 o'clock in the morning, and evidently most of the RVs and campers and folks are hanging around Deadwood, Spearfish, Sturgis, Buffalo Chip. So we're about half an hour south of them in Rapid City, which brings us closer to Mount Rushmore. So we got the jump on them. They were telling us that it was going to be 10 miles an hour of bumper traffic as we went through these technical rides. They're narrow roads. There's all kinds of bad drivers. Everyone's going to be slowing down. It's going to be kind of a nightmare. We wanted to do it anyway. And we get down there. We hit Iron Mountain Pass, which was our first one. I got the names mixed up last time. Iron Mountain was the first one. Taking it to Mount Rushmore, it was an unbelievable ride. It was incredible. We're going through tunnels. We did a 360-degree turn. I mean, literally, it winded back in on itself and went under itself on a bridge after coming out of a hand-carved tunnel. Lots of tunnels. I think we did about 5 or 6 where we just go into the mountain and then pop out the other side. It was unbelievable. How many people did we see? We saw 0 people on the entire Iron Mountain ride. The road was on both sides. The road was ours. We hit that road at about 8:45, I guess, and we owned it. And then off for Mount Rushmore, where were some of the early visitors. They just ushered us into the park. We're fine. We got some great shots of Mount Rushmore. It was pretty. And then we're done with it. We're going off to cool other things. Found the Great Lake right on the base of Mount Rushmore. You got the video for that in there. On to Needles Canyon, Needles Highway. That was something. So we're into that one. Riders are starting to wake up now. It's about 10:15, working their way down. So we see people, they're not in our way. We're just moving along their own pace. We do Needles Highway. We do the Eye of the Needle, that cool tunnel that's 9 or 8 feet wide, 12 feet tall that they got to usher people through. These odd arch structures. It was great. We did run into a little traffic for a little bit. We had some slow moving folks in front of us that we eventually just powered around. But so pretty much other than about 15 minutes, we didn't have anybody in front of us to slow us down at all over the entire top technical thing. And then when we're done with that, we were done with the top 3 things I wanted to do this whole day. We were done by 11 o'clock. So what do we do now? We do Custer National Park. No, Custer State Park, sorry. So we head down to Custer, go into the Custer Park area, and it's complete. It's a field. It's rolling fields. It's just sweeping turns. This wasn't just a straight road. This was roads where sometimes you could just see for a couple of miles of just turning snakes, where you can just open it up and just fly through those things. Beautiful wildlife. There was some sort of deerish creature. It was like a deer with horns. All of them had horns. We'll call it a deer. Those groundhogs all popping up in the field, taking a look at us as we going by. Again, almost nobody on the road this whole time. We see some people coming back the other way, but not in front of us. Eventually, we stop at a cool information stop, giving us information about the buffalo in the Custer area. They, raised these are wild buffalo. They herd them on horses. There were some horseback riders there. These were park rangers on there, taking care of the buffalo. Didn't see anything at the moment, and then we pull out, and then there's the herd. Evidently, that the herd had been in the mountains for the last week because of the rain and wandered down, and then they wandered, and as we're sitting there, Neil's taking pictures, and we're on the road, and it's good. They're like 40 feet away. It's a fantastic photo shot, and then they're 30 feet away, and then they're 20 feet away, and then they're 10 feet away. At 5 feet away, Neil's still snapping pictures, and the park ranger's going, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" And in truth, there was about 7 other people beside Neil doing the same thing. So I think it was a broad statement, not a personal targeting. But the traffic was, of course, stopped at this point. And so we get on and go on. Have to stop again because the herd's crossing the road. That was our biggest obstacle, not the people, the buffalo getting in the way. Rode again for another 20 minutes. Couldn't figure out why there was 3 cars in front of us doing 10 miles an hour. Buffalo in the road, taking a walkabout. So nobody knew how to get around them. We got around them. It was fine. Off we went. Had a great steak at the 1885 Steakhouse in Hill, South Dakota. Now it's about 3 or 4 o'clock. We can't get a table. This random guy comes up and says, "Hey, well, I'll sit with you," because it turns out you can get a table faster with 3 people. And cities right away. So this guy named Bob, we love Bob. Bob was great. He comes up. He's got a camera. He's got a press pass on him, and he's one of us that's going to fit in well. Great conversation. He says, "Hey, what do you shoot?" I'm thinking 9mm. Neil's like, no, it's a Sony R7. That's not my conversation. Great time there. We traded Instagram feeds. Hopefully he's listening to this now. Bob, great shout out to you. You take great photos. On back, we took some back roads, limped ourselves back to Rapid City and crashed. Took a nap. Ended up being 6.5 solid hours of hard technical stuff. The beauty and writing is the best I've ever done in my life, bar none. Neil will say the same thing. He did. He's getting showered because we slept a little later this morning because we needed it. Great writing. What are we doing today? I'll tell you next video.